typically see guys like Dixon and Hunter Ray do that, but it just seems to be a habit of a lot of guys from Europe.
And in practice, we saw teams somewhat adjusting, negotiating that back wing, trying to figure out, the right amount of downforce, and once again we have another car backed into the wall.
That's a hard hit because he hit square down the right square on the gearbox.
He lost.
Wheels are on. The other guys kind of hit at a glancing angle. That was a very square hit.
Terrible. And right, Paul. He lost it much earlier in the corner than Sato.
Yeah, his head is down. He's probably knocked out there for a little bit and let the car roll.
You had mentioned catching your breath. It'll take your breath away. Probably a situation right now where he's trying to catch his breath. We saw him lift his visor up.
Well, I don't know if he lifted that visor. You hit the wall that hard, the visor will snap up on its own.
Yeah, but
when you hit the wall that hard.
The helmets these days, they do such a better job at locking the visor down so that can't happen. But I imagine he's catching his breath. It's nice to see the safety crew there right away.
We've seen it again in 1 and 2,
and this was the worst angle, as you said, Paul. This was a direct hit,
dead square right on the gearbox, which is the worst case scenario, really, because all that G load just gets pushed right back into the chassis and the car.
And that was earlier in the turn. Right where he's parked now is where we saw Takuma Sato and James Hinchcliffe hit the wall, so he hit it a little bit earlier.
And he was loose right away. As soon as he turned in, it was going around. And now you see it hit square right there.
He was on that yellow line as well, BT. You had commented on that earlier.
See if he lifts his visor here. He does, but he's not cognizant enough to put his foot on the brake and try to stop the car. So he's trying to figure where his whereabouts are as the car rolls down the track. And if that's in a race situation and the car starts to roll down the track, that could cause a big problem for the other cars that are coming too.
This is the third Honda so far to start the weekend to have a very similar crash. I think these guys are just trying to trim out as best they can and kind of just go for it. And man, they're paying the price. You see his hands up there, so he's taking his hands off the wheel.
Let's listen to what took place when he went into 1. The cars are built to have the parts more or less blow off of the car when they make contact to dissipate some of that force when they hit a wall. And so this is a great sight. Carlos Munoz looking like he's trying to climb out of the car.
Trying very carefully to get out.
And they'll be thinking
a
lot about his back, even your knees. I mean, when you hit backwards with that kind of force, oftentimes your knees can come up and punch the back of the steering wheel really hard because the amount of G-force, it just does things to your body you never thought possible, but it's great to see him at least awake and alert.
And they're giving him as much time as he needs to get out of that car.
Still got his head stuck on. The hole is down around his neck now, like he didn't even bother to take it off. They pulled it down over his head, and it's around his neck now, so...
While we're watching Carlos Munoz climb out of the car, let's go to Katie Hargan.